What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Thin Ghost back again for the part 2 of my Shingeki no Kyojin Attack on Titan breakdown of the latest chapters. Now, I did a lot of chapters bunched into one video, about like maybe a brief refresher of issue 118 all the way up to like 121 with the first video, because I had to catch up. It's been a while since I made an Attack on Titan video, but I wanted to dedicate an entire video to just issue 122 that focused on the backstory of Ymir. And I reread it just now right before recording this, and just wow, just wow. It's so much information that's revealed in that issue, so many things that you pick up on or notice once you reread it. Now, there's still a lot of things that don't really make that much sense, just for the sake of having something nice for you all to look at, and to not show too much of the latest chapter, because I don't know if the video will get copywritten or not. I'm just going to be doing like a little slideshow similar with the first video I made of just showing Attack on Titan pictures from like older chapters and stuff like that. But yeah, man, this is from this is like stuff from the old days, man, like probably the first season and everything, when they attacked when they first had to seal up the wall and all that. Eren first found out he was a Titan. This is old stuff. But yeah, man, enough on that. Issue 122 was crazy. So it starts off with Historia talking to I think it's Frida Reese, and she's the one who had the founding Titan power before Grisha took it from her and gave it to Eren. And she's talking to Historia, talking to her about like how to be ladylike, or just how to be a good woman that everybody respects, everybody looks up to, and stuff like that. And Historia is talking about how she really would love to be like that. And she said, "You like this woman, don't you?" And she pointed to Ymir from a storybook. And in that storybook, they always tried to say that Ymir had made some kind of deal with the devil in order to get the powers of the Titans and stuff like that. Now, they've always been quite vague on what exactly happened. I don't think anybody knows what really happened. But if this flashback is any indication, if this flashback is true, then it's nothing like what anybody thought it was. And it's still quite vague, But let's go into it. So we see that back like way back in time, like 2,000 years ago. It's cool because it's a play on the first chapter. The first chapter, I think it was called To You 2,000 Years From Now, or 2,000 Years Ago, and this chapter is called From You 2,000 Years Ago. I'm sure I'm butchering that or not really getting it right, but the cool thing about it is that the first issue of Attack on Titan kind of starts off as like a dream, like Eren is waking up from a dream or something, and it says To You 2,000 years ago. And now in this chapter right here, in issue 122, it's showing you what happened 2,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? As if like Ymir sent like this crazy cryptic ass message throughout time and space to be able to contact Eren to see if she can get his attention to be able to help her like right now with what he's about to do. Now, I know that sounds confusing, getting ahead of myself. I'm gonna work my way up to that. So going back a bit, we see Ymir 2,000 years, like in this time period. We're not sure what it is, what's going on. All we know is that it's far back, and she's part of like this slave tribe. We're not exactly sure if she's an Eldian or Marlian or just part of some other kind of tribe, but she's a slave, no doubt. And you see how these slaves are being treated. This issue is very brutal. Izayama, he doesn't shy away from brutal panels and just violence in this series. I mean, Attack on Titan, like, it is what it is. But this chapter right here was it was a little bit much. It was a bit dark. Even for Izayama standards, it was just showing how the slaves was being treated. You have panels with them getting their tongues cut out, getting their eyes gouged out, stuff like that. They're just all going through it, man. Now, I'll take that back. I don't know if you actually see some getting their eyes gouged out, but you definitely see them getting their tongues cut out. And it starts where the original King Fritz, he says to all of them, "Which one of y'all set my pigs free?" There's some pigs that got set free. We don't know if he referring to the slaves as pigs, if he talking about some real swine. But he like, "Some of y'all done let some of my pigs go. Somebody let my pigs free. Who did it? If y'all don't let me know who did it, I'm gonna just gouge out all of y'all eyes, or I'm gonna take out one. Everybody gonna get an eye taken out. Slaves don't need two eyes." So they all in fear, they all scared, they all point to Ymir. Little Ymir, you know, she's a kid and everything. They just blame her. Ymir just like, oh shit, like, yeah, motherfuckers, yet y'all gonna snitch on me? You know, she just look at them like, well, damn. And she just bows down to King Fritz, maybe asking for forgiveness, or maybe she's accepting it. We don't know if she really did it or not, if she's doing it to protect the people around her or what. We don't know. But the point is, she accepts it. And King Fritz, he tells her, you are free. But he must just be mocking her or something, because she really wasn't free. What he did was he made her run into the woods as kind of like for sport. And it seems like his soldiers was chasing after her, shooting her with arrows, having dogs run after her. And this was brutal. This is a little kid, so this is intense right here. And she's running away, she's bleeding bad from one eye. So I'm guessing that promise that he made to all the slaves about gouging out one of each of their eyes if they don't, you know what I'm saying, admit who did it, he probably just took her eye out. But she's running, and then she runs into this huge tree. Now this tree that's just in the center of everything, just taller than all the other trees, I'm guessing this is like some kind of symbol for the life tree in Nordic mythology. Now, as we know, Izayama, he loves to put a lot of Nordic mythology, you know, like Thor and Loki and all of them, you know what I'm saying? Like their lore, he loves to put a lot of that mythology inside of Attack on Titan. Now, we don't know if this tree is supposed to be representative of the life tree, but you know, in Nordic mythology, they use a lot of trees, man. Like, trees is a big symbol for them. Like, they love trees. Like, the life tree is probably one of the most important things in Nordic mythology that they refer to, that kind of connects the 9 realms together. Another thing that you could kind of say that he uses in connection to that is a lot of people tend to wonder, why are there only 9 different types of Titans? Well, that could be in relation to the 9 realms. Life tree, 9 realms, 9 titans. Get what I'm saying? So, you know, it's pretty cool how they do that. Now, there's not 9 realms in Attack on Titan, but there's 9 titans. So that could be like his parallel to the 9 realms, making 9 titans. Anyway, so she wanders inside this tree. And this is where shit just started to get weird and confusing. So she wanders inside the bottom of the tree in order to hide from the people that's chasing her. And then she falls down into the tree. And when she falls in the tree, it's like she falls deeply into the ground or something. She falls into like this liquid, this water, and she just starts sinking deeper into the water. And then out of nowhere, a detached, just spinal cord, just one of the Titan spinal cords is just floating there in the water, and it attaches itself to Ymir's back, and she transforms into the first Titan. Now, it's something kind of unique about this Titan transformation that I noticed. It's big as shit, man. It is huge. And it's a lot of skin and stuff like missing from its face and everything. And on top of that, it looks like the female Titan, like Annie. So I'm thinking, is this like a combination of all the Titans in one before they started to create the 9 different Titans, and before they kind of broke off into different, that has to be what it is, because there's later evidence of this when Ymir, now this is a little weird. We don't know exactly why Ymir went back to King Fritz and the Eldians and continued to be a slave for them after she got this new acquired Titan power. Being as strong as she is, she could have just wiped the floor with everybody there, and she didn't even have to go back to that. But a lot of times it's not that simple. This was a young girl that's probably been a slave her entire life, all her years. So she probably just had adapted that slave mentality. She was probably just filled with trauma. No matter how much power she had, she probably just felt like she was obligated to come back and serve the king because of just that slave mentality that she's just been, that she's just been warped into. So that might have just been as simple as that. And King Fritz, he used her to create bridges, to build things, to create like a civilization, to branch out, to expand. And with her help, they was able to grow the Eldian Empire. And he said, as a reward, you will bear my children. We're gonna have some babies, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be the baby daddy. So he gave her 3 kids. Now these 3 kids, these 3 daughters that she had, their names are Rose, Maria, and Shinna. These are the names of the walls in Attack on Titan. So once again, I really love how Izayama is tying everything together in such a natural way and giving you a lot more context and a lot more relevance to, you know what I'm saying, like certain things that we've seen before. Like we've always known the names of the walls in the world of Attack on Titan, but now you see where the names of the walls came from. So it's like he's trying to give us every little bit of information that he can. You can tell that he's wrapping this story up, man, sad as it may be. But anyway, so what we get to see is that when Ymir goes back to serving the king and everything, there's like this there's this part where we have the Marleyans all bowing down to King Fritz, and you know they don't want to, but they probably was defeated, and you have like the generals and the kings and stuff like that surrendering to King Fritz, bowing down to him. But there's this hidden spear by one of the soldiers. He pulls it up from underneath the ground and he chugs it at King Fritz, trying in a last-ditch effort to try to kill him. But for some reason, even though she didn't have to, that could have been her way of escape, still just in this mindset of slavery and, you know, feeling like she has to serve him and honor him and protect him, we have Ymir throwing herself in front of the spear to protect King Fritz. Now, in a way, when she got stabbed, this might have been her way of getting out of it, or at least what she thought, because she could have healed herself with the powers of the Titans. But I think it was also listed, I think it was also said earlier on in Attack on Titan that you kind of like you can heal yourself or regenerate yourself going on like your will to live. Like if you want to live, similar to what happened with Rainer. Remember how when Rainer was fighting Eren back when they stormed Marley and he transformed, but it was kind of like it wasn't like a full transformation, because you could see that he just really, like, the guy just doesn't want to live. So you could see he was kind of partially transformed. So I figured maybe that's the same way with the regeneration. If you don't have the will to live, then you probably won't regenerate at all, or you'll just regenerate real slowly. Now Ymir is deeply traumatized and she probably didn't want to keep living like that. So she didn't come back even when that spear stabbed her, which would look like in her shoulder. It didn't look like the spear actually gave a fatal blow, but she still died from it. Now, this is when she went to the Titan realm. And this is her in the Titan realm. Like this is when she first went over to the Titan realm. Still, in a way, a slave in that realm, away from everybody. She's still trapped there. Now, while she's there and dead, King Fritz does some super brutal and intense stuff where he makes his children, the 3 daughters, eat the body of Ymir, inheriting her power of the Titan. And he tells them, as you fall, as you die, have your children, my grandchildren, eat your body, inherit the will and the powers of Ymir, inherit the power of the Titans. And when her 3 daughters first eat her, while she's in the Titan realm, you have this panel, you have this shot where she looks up at like that beam of light that Eren sees when he first goes into the Titan realm. That's kind of like symbolism of the life tree. You see that beam and it sprouts 3 other stems from the top of it. So that's like my theory as to each stem is like when another Titan is born, or when another Titan shifter, or, you know, when the power is spread, or when the power is spread about. You know what I'm saying? So when her 3 daughters ate it, 3 stems came. Then they had kids, they ate it, some more stems came, some more stems came, some more stems came, you know, and that's what it, you know, inadvertently created that huge beam with all those beams of light connected to it, which, you know, symbolizes the life tree and, you know, just all the Titans connecting in one spot. And you can see Ymir there making the Titans, using the sand to kind of sculpt them and put them together. And that's what she's been doing for all these years, for 2,000 years straight. It's crazy. So we get all this context, we get all this backstory, all this, you know, like this further explanation to the birth of the Titans and how they really came about. And it is insane the level of detail that is shown, like the amount of information that is dumped on us. Now, all of this, I'm gonna be honest, it all don't really make that much sense, but in the world of Attack on Titan, it does. But the only thing that's still confusing and still really vague is where the hell did that detached spinal cord come from that was just floating in the bottom of that tree? What was that water? What was that tree in general? We don't know. Maybe we'll get the answer, maybe we won't. But that's still the most vaguest thing that happened in this issue. We're not really sure of what that was. And that's a bit confusing. Honestly, I would have preferred it if Izayama left the whole like start of the Titans and birth of the Titans more in the realm of imagination, to where like he doesn't really explain it that much at all. But at the same time, he still explained it and still left a lot of questions unanswered. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't really pick and choose. You get what you get. But this issue was amazing, man. And it ends off right before we got even any more information about what was going on. Aaron, he just cuts it off in an abrupt end, screaming, "Enough! I'm gonna put an end to this world." And he just grabs Ymir and he just tells her in a calm way. You think he gonna do some brutal shit, like maybe put her in a headlock, be like, "Bitch, in this shit, nigga." Like you gonna, it looked like he gonna do all that, but he don't. He holds her and then he just tells her like, "Ymir, you're free. You're free to make your own choices. You're not some god. You're not some slave. You are a regular human being. You can choose to stay here forever and keep doing what you're doing, or you can choose to end it. It's up to you." Now Zeke sees this, he started getting scared, and then you see this beautiful yet painful shot of Ymir looking up, in like she looks up in the panel. You get to see her eyes for the first time. You get to see the pain in her eyes. You get to see the tears running down her face, her teeth gritting together. Just the level of stress that you see in Ymir's face, you know that she ready to fuck shit up. And sure enough, that's what her and Aaron do, because in the following pages, you see that they start the rumbling. That build up that Izayama has been doing for a very long time is finally here. The end game is here. The walls start to crumble. The colossal titans start to break free. We see our main cast, all the characters that's still alive. They stare in awe at all the craziness and the chaos that is going down. Ragnarok, it's going down. Ragnarok, another Norse mythology parallel that we see Izayama doing, like his own version of Ragnarok. I don't know who's gonna die. I don't know who's gonna live. I don't know what's happening. This is a crazy roller coaster ride, and I'm just looking forward to see where it's gonna take us next. If any of you have any feedback, any ideas of what you think might happen next, please share it in the comments. If you liked or disliked this video, please, I welcome any and all feedback. So let me know, man. Let me know what you think about the video, what you think of this series, what you think is going to happen next, man. And I hope you're having a good day, night, wherever you are. And until next time, guys, peace.